What's up, everybody? Stay-at-home gamer here with another parenting vlog. Once again, I want to thank you guys so much for the support on the first two videos, the first two vlogs. They're just over 100 views between the both of them. Now, my hope is for these vlogs is not that I get a bunch of views, but rather the viewers, you guys, are encouraged and loved by them, and that you find something within them that can maybe grow your parenthood, that you can maybe learn from. And Lord knows we are all learning. We are all learning as parents, and so hopefully you find some encouragement within these parenting vlogs. Once again, thank you so much for the support. Now, sorry that this vlog is getting to you a bit late. We'll be posting this on Monday. And that's because this past weekend was just super busy. And so just want to let you guys know that not only this week's episode will be posted today, Monday, but also next week's will be posted Monday. Because I got a wedding this weekend, so just another busy week coming at me here this coming week. As always, like, comment, and subscribe down below. Most importantly, comment any ideas that you guys might have to do it for future vlogs. Maybe there's a topic that you guys want to discuss or anything like that. I did have an idea to do a daily routine video as a stay-at-home parent, so please comment down below if you have any ideas on how to do that without my son in the videos. I'm trying to keep him out of the videos in order for his safety. I know some celebrities, when they post their family photos online, like on their Instagram, they put emoji faces on their kids. So maybe that's an idea that was suggested by my wife to do that. That's a lot of editing though, so we'll see if I get down to get going on that. So. Now, speaking of Instagram, please go down to the links down in the description. I'll link both my Instagram and my Twitter. Please follow those up. What I'll be doing there is giving you announcements when parenting vlogs are coming up, as well as just gaming stuff if that's something that you guys are also interested in. Also, I do a bunch of Twitch announcements, just letting people know that I'll be streaming and playing video games and trying to entertain people. So if you guys have any questions about that, leave that down in the comments section as well, or just follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Now let's get started. Today's topic is about forgiving ourselves as parents. Here we go. Now today I wanted to start off with just a little bit of a story, a little bit of confession, if you will, to you guys as parents. Just a parent to parent coming at you here. And yesterday we had a church function down in the greater Madison area, Madison, Wisconsin, with another church. We were celebrating some things, and there was a lunch provided after the service and everything. And you know, there was activities that kids could do, activities that all adults could do, and everything like that. And so what happened was after lunch, my son just wanted to play basketball. That's all he wanted to do. He wanted to grab a ball. He wanted to go play. He wanted to be like all the other kids and play some basketball. And to be honest, I'm very proud of that. I love basketball. Basketball is my favorite sport. And so just seeing my kid being pretty excited about playing basketball, even though he can't even shoot the ball up to the rim, it's just a joy in my life. But yesterday I was playing one-on-one with this kid. We were just playing. We were just taking turns, you know, playing offense and guarding each other. And what happened was my son was on the court at the same time that we were playing that, and I was on defense. My back was to my son, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw a friend kind of grab Caleb and ask him if he wanted to go play soccer, because he was playing with a soccer ball at that time, and he loves kicking a ball around as well. And so they kind of went out of my peripheral vision, and so I just kind of assumed that Caleb was out of the way, that I could kind of take me guarding this guy one-on-one pretty seriously. And so I did. And unfortunately, Caleb just kind of didn't want to get off the basketball court. And so this guy that I was guarding kind of drove to the basketball hoop, and I kind of followed him, and I unfortunately ran over my son. And all I heard after that was just cries. And so what had happened was I ran over him, and he actually face planted on the concrete. I know, don't at me. I already feel super bad. So he went face plant into the concrete, busted up his lip, and busted up his knee a little bit, scraped up his knee, and his chin is just a little slightly scraped up as well. And just after that, I felt so bad. I felt so bad. I felt like such a terrible parent. I automatically started thinking that why was I taking guarding this kid so seriously? We're just at a church function. Why am I playing basketball with this kid when I could just be playing basketball with my son? And to be fair, I have a competitive spirit. I love basketball. It's my favorite sport. And so I was just trying to get into it a little bit, and just seeing potentially Caleb off the court without him being in my peripheral vision, I thought I was okay, but it didn't happen that way. And so one of the things that I wanted to talk about that story, kind of based on that story, is that, first, I never want to let my kids down. I never want to disappoint them. And the reason why I say this is because I know for a fact, just because I've seen it in other parents' lives, I've seen it in my own family's lives, I've seen it in my own life as I deal with my own parents as well. And that is, at some point in the future, your kids are going to disappoint you. You're just going to be disappointed by them. And so you want to try your best as a parent. You want to be your best parent that you can be, and try your best not to disappoint them. And now, the reason why I disappointed Caleb yesterday, it's funny that it wasn't actually me running him over and him bleeding all over the place and him busting up his lip. I'm sitting in my van with him. I'm kind of wiping his blood off of his lip and off of his shirt and everything. And he's crying because he wanted to play basketball. He's not even crying because he busted up his lip. He's yelling ball. He's yelling ball. He wants to go play basketball with all the kids. And one of the ways that I disappointed him yesterday was not that I busted up his lip, but it was more so that I kind of captured and destroyed some of his joy for that day. I looked at that situation and I saw that Caleb actually just wanted to be a kid. And me as a parent, I disappointed him in that way because he wasn't able to do that. As we were leaving, Caleb's crying in the back seat. Caleb's crying in the back seat. He is hysterical because all he wants to do is go back and play some more basketball. At some point, our kids are going to disappoint us. But as parents, we need to grow to a point where we're trying our best not to disappoint them, not to rob them of the joy that they were having that day. As a parent, I made the right decision. Caleb was hysterical. He was bleeding everywhere. So we actually left right away after that situation happened. But at the same time, I felt so bad because all he wanted to do was play basketball. And my next point is that yesterday happened and I hurt Caleb physically. But ultimately, through disappointing him, through that situation, I also hurt him emotionally. And as parents, we never want to do that. We never want to hurt our kids to the point where they're just emotionally drained, where they're just emotionally just done with the day. They're just so emotional that they want to go play basketball after they actually hurt themselves. Or actually, I hurt him physically. This was an accident. But accidents turn into emotional heartbreak. Like I said, my son, all he wanted to do was go play basketball, but I robbed him of that joy. I robbed him of the emotions that he was going through that day. My son was having so much fun yesterday. He was having a blast. He was just playing basketball. He wasn't doing it like the big kids, but he felt like he was a part of the big kids. And I robbed him of that. I took that away. And so we as parents, we can't always take our kids' emotions for granted. We can't always think that our kids' emotions are in a perfect state, but rather we need to try our best not to break those emotions when they're feeling the good ones. When they're feeling the emotions of sad, we need to comfort them. When they're feeling the emotions of frustration, we need to try to figure out how to help them in our best way possible. But when they're feeling those moments of joy, of true happiness, we need to try our best to not take those away. And that's what I did yesterday. I took that away from my son. And I feel so bad about that. So moving forward, with all that being said, as parents, if those situations happen, we must try our best to forgive ourselves. Because ultimately, our parenthood doesn't end on that day where we disappointed our child. Our parenthood continues. We have a future as parents. And so we need to be able to forgive, not forget. Because if we forget, we don't learn. But we need to be able to forgive ourselves so that we can move on and create more joyous occasions with our children. It's not simply moving on from what happened, but making sure that our heart goes to such a broken state that the only way to fix it is by forgiving ourselves. Because as parents, sometimes our kids aren't old enough to understand the concept of forgiveness. And so in these moments, my son's too, in these moments, he can't forgive me. I could say sorry all I want, but he just doesn't understand that concept. And so when I go through those situations, I need to be able to move on by forgiving ourselves, by forgiving myself. So yesterday on the drive home, he eventually fell asleep, and maybe you parents have experienced it, but he was still crying while he was sleeping. He was kind of like sniffling, and he still seemed upset. And throughout the whole ride, I was just mad at myself. I was upset at myself. But I had to move to a state of forgiveness to be able to forgive myself so that I could eventually create more joyous occasions with my son, so that I could eventually create joy within my son's heart once again. Like I said, he's 2 years old. He probably doesn't even remember yesterday's situation because his mind is on creating more joy in his life. And so right now, I want to encourage you all as parents, if you guys end up disappointing your kids, end up hurting them emotionally or physically, right now is the time not to continue beating yourself down for those mistakes. That's what they are. They're mistakes. And we as parents can move on from mistakes and grow from those. And we can learn to be a better parent. We can learn to start encouraging our kids more. We could learn to start loving our kids in a better way. We could learn to maybe not take basketball so seriously and just hang out with your kid. We could learn from these situations. We can grow. Mistakes are for growing. Mistakes are to be learned from. Forgiveness is to heal those mistakes. That's what we need in our life as parents. We need to be able to forgive ourselves because we ultimately are going to disappoint our kids at some point. And so sometimes we need to ask for that forgiveness from our kids if they're old enough to understand that concept, or we just need to fight in order to forgive ourselves. That's it for today, guys. Remember, forgive yourselves if you've made a mistake. Remember that forgiveness is what can heal your heart, what can mend those situations. Forgiveness can help you move to a point where you're able to continue creating joy in your kid's life. Because if you think you have this parenting thing down, you got another thing coming. There's another day of parenthood. There's another day of forgiving yourself. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching this parenting vlog. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. This is Stay at Home Gamer, and we'll see you later.